This is a video of the government isms using cows as an example to show how it works. A government is a political and economic system that decides issues of laws, taxes, and economics, as well as addresses the issues of governance. Every country has a government. So, a government is you have two cows. The type of government will determine your ownership of the cows, your ability to profit from your cows, and the way to use any and all cow products. Democracy is a system of government in which people vote in elections to choose who will make decisions about the economic and political systems in place. Democracy. You have two cows. You vote for the people to run the country whose plan about the cows you like best. If those in charge make laws about your cows you don't like, you can vote against them in the next election. South Africa is a democracy. Capitalism. Capitalism is a political and economic system in which most resources are privately or corporately owned and controlled. The US of A is an example. Capitalism. You have two cows. You sell one, buy a bull, and build a herd of cows. Monarchy is undivided rule by a single person, generally passed down from generation to generation. Think kings and queens. You have two cows. A monarch could decide to take your cows for personal use and force you to pay for the milk. Whatever the monarch decides goes. Marxism is an ideology that called for a classless society under dictator rule until fully developed that shares wealth and resources. Marxism, you have two cows. They're seized by a dictator, and you are assigned to care for them until the dictator decides to turn ownership over to the society as a whole. The milk belongs to the dictator and is divided as he sees fit until a classless society is achieved, at which point everything is collectively owned and distributed equally. Socialism is a political and economic system in which government may be democratic but favors public ownership of resources. Canada, Great Britain, France, Italy, all of Western Europe, really. Pure socialism. You have two cows. The government takes them and puts them in a barn with everyone else's cows. You have to take care of all the cows. The government gives you as much milk as you need. And this sounds wonderful, but there is a lot of backlash to socialism. And the reason could be because it never works out quite that way. Bureaucratic socialism is you have two cows. The government takes them and puts them in a barn with everyone else's cows. They're cared for by ex chicken farmers. You have to take care of the chickens the government took from the chicken farmers. The government gives you as much milk and eggs as the regulations say that you should need. So, socialism is a good idea in its essence, but because of the bureaucracy and the government control over the resources, people say that it does inevitably fail, and there is a great fear against socialism in the world today. Communism. Communism is a political and economic system derived from Marxism, in which government, a single authoritarian party, controls all of the other resources. China, North Korea, Cuba, and Marxism, remember, was a theoretical ideology, and communism is the implementation thereof. But what we forget between an idea in action is the human element. Inevitably, communism has two cows. Your neighbor helps you to take care of them, and you all share the milk. This is the idea of pure communism. Russian communism, Joseph Stalin becomes a totalitarian dictator under the promise of communism, which is Marxism. He never attempts to relinquish power as Marx outlined. So, Russian communism, you have two cows, you have to take care of them, but the government seizes all the milk. You wait in line for hours to get it, and it is expensive.